Where do we get all these thousands of men who have no families? Coming from China, coming from Venezuela. I would guarantee that the Venezuelans and a lot of the different people that we're seeing come in these large groups, these groups of males, I mean, they're either prisoners, some of them are spies, some of them are military, some of them are terrorists. What the heck is wrong with us? Hey folks, welcome. I'm coming to you live from the Invasion Center of America. Yes, the great state of Texas, our southern border, and our Texas Department of Public Safety, which is doing everything I believe it can, along with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, to try to stop this invasion and fight the federal government. And it's not as simple as people make it out to be. Washington, D.C. is full of theater. Everybody wants to come down to the border. When I was down at the border and people were pouring through, it was hard to get people's attention. It's like, it's going to get worse. It's getting worse. We have a policy that is failing us. This was right when Biden came into office. We have people coming here from special interest nations. We have people coming in. Those are special interest aliens. Those are people connected to terrorism, just to clarify, or countries connected to terrorism. And we don't even know who these people are. We're not vetting them. I am screaming through the rooftops and other reporters that were down there. And now everybody's like, oh yeah, we got to do something about it. We got to do something about it. Have you guys seen how many people are already in the country? What are we going to do about it? There's right now, in the first 11 months of 2023, at least 2,953,676 migrants crossed either of the United States southwestern or northern borders, according to CBP data. That's almost 3 million. And by the way, those I believe are encounters. That does not include all the people we didn't catch. So I would say way over 3 million. And that is in the first 11 months of 2023 last year. That is insane. Those numbers actually surpass the populations of 17 states in our union. That is crazy. That's crazy. And now they're going to go down to the border and they're going to say like, okay, we're ready to do something. Let's get out there. Let's get out there in full force. It's all theater. I know there's a lot of Republicans that want this fixed. That is a fact. And I know there's a lot of people probably in the middle. I don't think there's any Democrats. I just tweeted out today and I just love this because I cannot believe that this is the road that the Biden administration is choosing to go down. The Biden administration either knows they've got the election in their pocket or they're just a bunch of idiots. I just can't figure out what. But once again, their main commercial is to say that we are, yes, you and I, anyone who supports President Trump, anyone who believes that America is first, that we are domestic extremists. But the border is wide open and he's letting terrorists in. Go figure that. So anyone who buys that BS from the Biden administration deserves everything that's coming to them in the future. I don't buy it. I know he's lying. I know this administration is corrupt. I know that we are facing right now very, very dangerous times. And I know because I've seen it across the country, not just here from the Invasion Center of America, but in cities like Chicago, in cities like Dayton, Ohio, Franklin County, Ohio. My gosh, fentanyl and the deaths have been intolerable in Ohio and in other places in the Midwest. We've seen it in places like Alabama, in Georgia, in California, where, by the way, illegal migrants are going to get the full access to our health care at our taxpayer expense. Yes, not Americans. No, not Americans, but illegal aliens will get your tax dollars to take care of their medical expenses. I've seen the migrant camps firsthand. I have spoken to the people there, and I want to tell you all about what is happening in Chicago. And in fact, I'm going to play some audio and video for you of the interviews that I conducted in Chicago with Chicago residents who are watching the migrants who are being housed in their neighborhood smoke dope in front of their homes, catcall the underage girls that are living in that neighborhood, which is terrifying, which is why parents aren't letting their kids out of the house, because all these new men are living in their neighborhood and driving around in new cars or used cars that they purchased without driver's license, right? And supposedly without jobs. How is it happening that migrants are getting money to purchase all these, to purchase drugs and to purchase cars? Let's come back with those answers and so much more. But first, I want to tell you about Mike Lindell and MyPillow. MyPillow, folks, I love, love, love MyPillow. Everybody got MyPillow products this year in my family for Christmas. Why? Because they're living outside of the house. They need sheets. They need pillows. They need blankets. They need doggy beds. We got so many dogs in our family, and they all love Mike Lindell's MyPillow doggy mattresses and beds. And in fact, Macy May Buttercup is sleeping right under my desk on hers. So I want you to go to mypillow.com. Yes, I want you to go to mypillow.com/Carter, CARTER, and enter code Carter, CARTER, and check out the big discounts, including the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98. Go to mypillow.com/Carter, code Carter. That's mypillow.com/Carter, code Carter, or call 1-800-685-7221. So let me take you inside Chicago. Chicago has been facing enormous challenges, not just because of their most ridiculous Democrat representation in Chicago and that Mayor Johnson is doing them no good, no justice, but because Chicago is being inundated with illegal migrants. And so many of these illegal migrants are saying at the border here, hey, I want to go to Chicago. I want to go to Chicago because my friends are in Chicago and they've got cell phones. They've got a place to sleep. They're buying, cars. They've got great clothes. They got, and Chicago weather right now is freezing. I was freezing my butt off the other night. I was doing Sean's show. I was like, I'm not used to it, right? Because I'm here in the great state of Texas and it's, maybe at the lowest during the day is like in the 50s right now. I know, be jealous, right? In the 50s, if it's that, and it's colder now than it was last year. And it can drop into the low 30s or maybe sometimes, in the winter. And then, but not normally. Normally we're between, 72 during the day and then maybe 40s at night in the highest point of winter. Chicago's a whole different story, folks. Chicago is freezing, right? So I'm out there, I'm doing the show. This is after I interview everybody around Gage Park. I met with the alderman who I absolutely love, Alderman Raymond Lopez. He was just so welcoming and so ready to talk about the problems that his community is facing because of the increase in illegal migration into the city. And right now there's somewhere around, in fact, I may even have those numbers on me. And if you guys are watching me on YouTube, I'm getting my backpack because I just keep traveling everywhere and voila, papers in my hand. So I have some documents that some of the folks in Chicago, I can't say who, shared with me, but this is regarding operational updates, city shelters. I gotta read this one part to you because it drives me nuts. And I could not believe what I was reading. Let me find it. Oh, wait, this part's great. So, it's freezing there. Everybody needs to wear super thick you'll die. You will die because it gets sub-zero. The winds are bustling and it feels like it cuts right through your skin. And I, had to be outside to do my show for Sean. So I actually felt that, but nowhere near what somebody in poverty would be feeling. Absolutely. Or somebody who doesn't have the appropriate clothing and has to live outside in those conditions. Well, that's only for American citizens, right? American citizens, you live outside in the freezing cold. Illegal aliens, we're going to take you into the community center that we just took away from the American citizens that live around Gage Park. And we're going to house you there. We're going to give you a couple grand. We're going to give you a phone. We're going to give you, food. We're going to buy you the best jackets. You guys can go ahead and smoke pot at the park, catcall on the girls, and drive around in your vehicles. And by the way, one of the neighbors, his car, they actually hit his car with their car and damaged his vehicle, a couple $1,000s worth of damage. But that's beside the point. You're not getting enough. Says government, you're not getting enough. Here's a document. Larger items that are necessary and that are needed for the migrants. This is a for official use information only. It's a DHS kind of local DHS document that the city had. And here you go. Let me make sure it's a local DHS document. I want to give you guys what you need. Actually, no, this one is not DHS. This is for official use only. And it's the City of Chicago New Arrivals Operation, end of December. This is a briefing that was given to all of the people in the Chicago area that have to deal with the migrants. And they said these are the larger items that are needed. Minimum 26 televisions for common use areas, because that's critical recreational needs for the winter. You need 26 televisions. We're running low on TV in the winter. I'm sorry, if you came into the country illegally, and it's freezing cold where you're at, I think the most important thing is maybe shelter, because it's winter. We don't want anyone to die. I hope we're not those kind of people, but they shouldn't be here to begin with. We don't need to be giving them washers, dryers, 26 televisions, industrial fans. We're getting car seats for the babies, bassinets and strollers, furniture in partnership with the New Life Centers and the Chicago Furniture Bank, another NGO, I'm sure that's helping out and doing good. They're looking for landlords, shelter visitors, donations, volunteer policies. I mean, guys, this is crazy. We're spending billions of dollars. And right now there's roughly over 29,000 just in the city of Chicago. I'm not, this is what we know of. Over 29,000 people being housed in the city of Chicago. There are veterans on the streets of Chicago. There are people that are on the streets of Chicago that are not getting help. There are Americans that have lost jobs that are not getting help. There are residents that are being impacted by this in a very negative way. People that I talked to in Chicago late at night, by the way, in Gage Park area, right in front of the center where they're sheltering all of the migrants, a Venezuelan migrant was gunned down on December 23rd, a targeted attack, which means that something kind of fishy, criminal was going on there for someone to park a vehicle at the end of the road where I was interviewing. One of these residents, the resident that you're going to hear got a lot of this and all of these residents on their video cameras, all in that neighborhood. And they were able to share that with the cops. But you could see somebody walking by down the road. They kill someone in front of the community center. They kill this Venezuelan man who's a migrant. And then they head back to their car that they parked in the neighborhood and take off. And even though some of the mayors come down there and said, 60% of all the people that are here in Chicago, they're good people. They came across the board. They're just looking for a better life. Well, the neighbors there are saying, well, the 60% are not staying at this shelter. They're not staying at this shelter. Take a listen to the residents that I spoke to in Chicago And let me know what you think when you write to me on X or on Instagram, because I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Or Rumble, by the way, Rumble, you can see our videos there, and YouTube. Take a listen.
Then you come out here, they pee on my truck, they smoke weed across the street. I haven't actually seen a guy deliver the weed to them.
They're smoking weed, they're drinking, littering. They play loud music until 11:30 at night. I have to call the police to get them to stop.
My wife, like, literally used to walk across the street to that park. Not no more, because you go over there, you'll find condoms on the floor. You'll see them smoking on there. I mean, it's basically the neighborhood we used to know and love was no longer here.
And I would simply say that field house should be for the kids. It could be turned into a youth center. It could be somewhere, a safe place where kids can go, instead of the complete opposite.
I mean, I don't know if, you come over here seeking asylum and you don't have a job, but you're smoking weed, you're drinking, whistling at all the women that go by, catcalling them, because that's what they were doing. They had the horns that they were honking at, people going by. It doesn't seem to me that they're very respectful.
I got to tell you, it was very sad for me to see these neighborhoods, these good people, these are people who work every day, feed their families. These are upstanding citizens that pay their taxes. One of the people that I spoke with works for a delivery company for like 30 years. There's another man who's a professional. There are people in that neighborhood that are hardworking Americans whose children cannot play outside. They are literally prisoners in their own houses because our government has decided that they mean nothing, and that for some reason, which we can all try to guess at, but which we are not 100% buttoned down certain on, the Biden administration has left the border wide open and has allowed so many people into our country, folks, so many people into our country that as of the end of December, migrant border crossings this year outnumber the population of 17 states in our union. We are witnessing the city of Troy, the Trojan horse, whatever you want to call it. We are actually living in these historic moments. Have you not seen the migrant caravans? Have you not seen what I've been posting? My friend Myra Flores has been posting. Everyone has been Elon Musk responded to Myra Flores' post. It was off of the TikTok video where there's just, and I put it on my X as well. So you got to go there and look at Sara Carter DC. That's at Sara Carter DC. Look at it. More than 15,000, I would guess maybe 20,000 people marching towards our southern border right now in Mexico. Made their way down. It is weaponization of migration. And our government is participating in it. It's not like our government's trying to stop it. They are actively participating in it. This is why I support President Trump 100%. I just don't believe right now that anybody else is going to come in day one and slam down executive orders and say, I want this done. And tell Tom Homan, you get back up there, my other good friend who I just adore, with Immigration and Customs Enforcement or Borders are, and let's figure out a way to get all these people back home. This is unacceptable. I don't even know how you do it now. And I think that's what the Democrats counted on. They're like, just open up the floodgates. Let them in, let them in, let them in. You know, is this the future Democratic Party? Are they trying to salvage something? Are they trying to save themselves? What are they trying to do? Because right now, we're faced with a very serious dilemma. Our nation's foundation is being broken. We have a humanitarian crisis at the border that far exceeds anything we have ever seen. We have corruption that is off the charts. We have cartels making hundreds of billions of dollars that allow them access to purchase people, to blackmail, to spy on our law enforcement, to get semi-submersible submarines, to buy drones, to create systems, funnels into our nation that allow terrorists and others to access that. And we're just sitting here like what? Doing what? Like a cartoon? While our children are paying the price, while American families in Chicago, in Atlanta, Georgia, in California are suffering and can't pay the bills or can't go to a good doctor. While people, by the way, a lot of which are military age males, are crossing our border, probably out of prisons. Yes, they are. Just admit it. Where do we get all these thousands of men who have no families? Coming from China, coming from Venezuela. I would guarantee that the Venezuelans and a lot of the different people that we're seeing come in these large groups, these groups of males, I mean, they're either prisoners, some of them are spies, some of them are military, some of them are terrorists. What the heck is wrong with us? Why would anyone ever vote for President Biden or the Democratic Party again, unless you have suicidal tendencies? You want to see the nation just implode on itself. You want to see the end of our great republic. Why would anyone want this? Why would anyone want this? This is unacceptable. Right now, there are 17 states that have smaller populations than the number of migrants who crossed the border into the U.S. this year per U.S. Census population estimates. Right now, those 17 states are Alaska, Delaware, Hawaii, Idaho, Kansas, Maine, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Dakota, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Yes, I was just in Wyoming. It's a small population. It's probably because it's so cold, but not for long, folks. Hold on to your britches in Wyoming because the migrants are heading your way, right? They'll make sure of it. The Biden administration will make sure of it. They will want, or maybe some rhino Republicans. They'll probably want Cheney back, Liz Cheney. They're going to try to offset that. Right? Offset that. Liz Cheney back in. We'll see. I don't think that'll happen. But this is insane. This is insane. In the month of December alone, over 302,000 migrants. That's between December 1st and December 31st. Folks, that's an invasion. There's no other way to say it. And they're just walking. And if you don't believe that weaponized migration really is a tool of war, look at what China has done. Look at what China has done. China has done that everywhere. In Nepal and other places in the world, they will move in. They will invade. I would not doubt if behind all of this too are our adversaries, China, Venezuela, Iran. They know what they're doing. Now, the people who are coming in, they're just useful tools. They're tools. I don't even want to say they're useful idiots because they're not idiots. They're like, we're going to get the heck out of Dodge and get to America. Whatever you want. Biden's letting us in. Let's go. Come on. Hey, let me call my brother and sister. Let me call my mother and father. Let me do whatever I need to do, right? To get my entire family into America while the getting is good. Not if President Trump gets elected. If President Trump gets elected, that border, I guarantee you, will be shut down. 100%. I believe what President Trump is saying 100%. But I am still trying to figure out how Biden pushed that commercial, the Democrats. And in fact, I'm going to have Cal play it right now so that you can hear it, because actually he's not worried. Biden's not worried about the invasion. The only thing President Biden is worried about is you. That's it. He's got the FBI and everybody else on high alert. Go ahead, alert the FBI about me. Go ahead, tell them I support President Trump. I'm MAGA. They throw that flag around. You want to know why? Because they know Americans are sick of the lies. And if you're old enough to know the truth, guys, if you're out there and your kids are being lied to in their schools and in the universities, and if you have neighbors who are being lied to, please, please, please tell them the truth. Expose it. Just don't stop talking about it. Tell the truth. Speak up, speak out. Speak up, speak out. They are counting on people to remain quiet and silent and keep their mouths shut. Now I'm going to keep my mouth shut so you could hear this commercial.
I've made the preservation of American democracy the central issue of my presidency. I believe in free and fair elections and the right to vote fairly and have your vote counted. There's something dangerous happening in America. There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy. All of us are being asked right now, what will we do to maintain our democracy? History's watching. The world is watching. Most important, our children and grandchildren will hold us responsible. The Vice President and I have supported voting rights since day one of this administration, and I ask every American to join me in this cause. America is still a place of possibilities, where the power resides with we, the people. That's our soul. We are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Our nation is on the brink. Folks, this isn't an exaggeration. This isn't alarmist. I have been covering the border for 20 years. I've never seen anything like this. This is weaponized migration. We have adversaries that are trying to kill us, kill our children, destroy our nation. Some of those adversaries are right here. They are in Washington, D.C., and they don't care. You've got to vote them out of office. You have to vote them out. You cannot let them stay. Our founding fathers had a system that gave us the power. Seize the power. You are that important. I've said this before. You are that important. You are the most important part of this government. It's you. It's your voice. You're the only one in your house, right? I'm not in your community. I can't see what's going on the ground. You can. That's why when I go to Chicago and I put people on TV from their neighborhoods and they speak up, I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you for Americans that are not afraid to stand up. It is not easy, but you can do it. And we can win our nation back. And we can once again be a nation that the rest of the world envies and that the rest of the world is in fear of. We can't just be the one envied. We can't just be the one that people want to come to. People want to have to come here to be American. They can't have to want to come here to spy on us, to take over our country, to rape and pillage, whatever. We need the people that want to be here, that want to be American, and I'm sure many of the people that are coming across that border, there are people that want to do that. That people that want to fight for us, that want to go overseas and put the terrorists in their place. But by God, help us if we just tear down our borders and allow anybody and everything in. You know, the end result will be what history has already proven. Just look at what happened to Troy. It was destroyed from the inside out. And that's a fact. And that may be what is happening to us if we don't wake up and stop it. Please make sure you're subscribed to the Sara Carter Show here on your favorite podcast app. It really does help us. And you know what? I love hearing what you have to say. Please leave a review. Leave a review on Apple, on Spotify, whatever app you use to listen to this podcast, The Sara Carter Show. Leave a review and leave us 5 stars. It makes a huge difference. Follow me on Truth at Sara Carter Official, on X at Sara Carter DC, and on Instagram at SCarterDC. God bless you. God bless our great nation. Pray for her. Pray for your children. Pray for the future of our country, and pray for the upcoming 2024 election, that we put somebody in office, preferably President Trump, that will do the right thing and clean out our nation, disinfect it, shine light all across Washington, D.C., and shut down the U.S.-Mexico border. And God bless the great state of Texas.